Hi guys, good evening. It's me, Ben, and I'm joined with Connor, and we're going to be covering the topic. I'm talking about the topic of aviation medicals, particularly the type of medical that you will need to attain your private pilot's license. I'm going to hand over to Connor, who's just going to give you a quick, brief overview on what a medical is.
So medicals, what are they? To put it simply, medical is a certificate that proves you are fit to fly. The type of medical you need to gain and maintain your private pilot's license in the UK is a Class 2. It covers a few subjects depending on your age and family or medical history, but we'll be covering the average person in our target audience. So it covers your medical history or family history, hearing, eyesight, physical examination of yourself in general, and a good old urine sample.
So, your family and medical history is basically any inherited diseases that you may have acquired over your lifetime, or any family genetic illnesses that could affect your long-term flying. And the medical examination covers any of these diseases or illnesses if you have any, and you just basically need to declare them and make the medical examiner aware of them. Um, rather than finding them out later. As always, sooner rather than later.
Yep, definitely with that one. Moving on to the hearing test, this was quite simple, really. I
It
was
was.
basically told to stand about a foot away from the aeromedical examiner, or AME, whilst covering one of my ears one at a time. And then in a soft, quietest tone, they said three words. In my case, Manchester, Liverpool, and Nice, and then Paris, Barcelona, and Zurich, I believe, in the other ear. And then just have to repeat them, and then that went quite well. And as I said, it's quite simple, really, isn't it? Moving on to our eyesight. Ben's going to take you through that one.
The next test in the series of tests was the eyesight test. It was split into four sections: the colour blindness, eye focusing, close range vision, and long range vision tests. The eye focus section consisted of placing a rod with a slider over my face, and the AME moved the slider with a black dot on a canvas towards my eyes. I then had to announce when I couldn't see it clearly. The next test was the close range vision, and this included reading a line of text off a sheet that was in front of me at the same distance as a map or chart would be in the aircraft as we are flying along. The long range vision included reading a chart on the other side of the room, and it was just covering over one eye, etc., etc. And finally, the colour blindness test is where you read numbers from a book with multiple coloured dots on it. Here's a picture. And you've got to read the number, and I can read it. It's 29.
Getting the same here. Moving on to the physical examination. The physical examination is split up into sections as well. It's similar just to a normal checkup at the doctor's, really. It covers your blood pressure, heart rate and rhythm, your weight, your height, the sound of your heart's valves opening and closing, and the sounds of you breathing. It also does your reflexes and your organs. So the blood pressure is just one of those things that goes around your arm and blows up like a balloon, and then the result is recorded. The heart rate is also done by this machine in some cases if it's digital, if not, it's done by your finger. Another thing to note is your rhythm is taken as well to make sure it's not irregular, and then your blood saturation levels also taken, I believe, through that machine. Your height, you just have to take your shoes off, go back against the wall, and you get measured pretty much, and then same on scales with your weight. Then a stethoscope is placed on your chest in four sections where you can hear the echoes of the valves opening and closing on your heart. This is just to make sure your heart's functioning normal. The sound of the air coming in and out of your lungs is recorded through your back. Your reflexes are tested by tapping in certain places and relaxing, for example, your knees and elbows. And then your organs are checked to make sure they're not too thick or in the wrong place, I believe. That's done by tapping as well. So a lot of tapping goes on, doesn't it, Ben?
Yeah, a lot of tapping just to make sure that your organs are in the correct position, and also for the reflexing test.
Yep. A few frequently asked questions, really. So, the first question is, will you fail? You probably won't fail. That's the first thing that comes to most people's minds. Oh, I'm going to fail. Everything is over. But if you're a normal, healthy person and there's no reason for you to fail, logically you can't fail, and then
Yep.
pretty much you won't fail. So nothing to be scared of, is it, Ben?
No, not at all. As long as you stay fit and healthy, then I shouldn't see a problem. And if there are any problems that you know about, it's better to tell. The AME as I said, sooner rather than later.
Yep, and at the end of the day, you get good feedback on your health condition in general. And yeah, moving on. The next question is, do I need to prepare? Well, me and Ben know about a story. What don't we drink in the morning?
You don't like to consume a lot of caffeine, otherwise your heart rate will go through the roof.
That's not
probably
good.
The best thing is to stay away from any caffeine, just water, and that'll be good.
Yeah, I just had some water and some juice. Make sure you drink a bit as well, because you need to do a urine sample. If you need a toilet, try and save it if it's not too far away. If you have glasses, make sure you bring the prescribed version of your glasses with you and your prescription details. And if you have any other medication you need, bring that along too. That always helps.
You don't always need it. I think that you do, though. Bring some form of identification. So I'm guessing
passport.
The most common form would be a passport. That's just the AME can check that you are who you say you are. Of course you are. And get the personal details that they need to complete the certification they need to do.
Yep. There's a lot of paperwork involved.
A lot of paperwork, but it'll, take 40 minutes, 50 minutes or so.
Yeah, it took about an hour until. Moving on. Does it cost much? Mine costs around £180, I think. So.
Yeah, mine was about 150. It might sound like a lot just for the basic checks, but it is worth it. You are fit to fly once you've had it. And
lasts for 5 years, under 40,
lasts for 5 years. But yeah, I'm sure we'll go into that a little bit later on.
Yes, definitely. That's about the cost, really.
So I get asked this question quite a bit, and my usual response is that probably do it after you've had your 5th lesson. So you're about 5-6 hours into your training. And the reason that I say this is because you don't want to have 20 hours behind you, then find out that you're not fit to fly, and you've wasted your time and money into that. If that is the case, it depends on your medical condition, but you may be able to get a lower type of license called a LAPL. It has certain restrictions, but it will still mean that you'll get a license. It's just a lower level than a pro pilot's license or the PPL. But yeah, to get it after your 4th lesson or so, and you should be good to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't leave it too late. That's probably not a good idea. Not at all. If you have any more questions, that's all we could really come up with. Just leave them in the comments below, message us on social media, or tag us in a post perhaps, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can on that one. I don't think anything else we need to really bring up. Perhaps if you need to bring it with you, my advice, and what I've been told by my aeromedical examiner, was not to bring the real copy to the flying school, as if they wanted to hang on to you, they could just keep a hold of your medical. And then you can't go anywhere else really without it. So make a photocopy yourself, or if the AME's done one for you, give that one to the flying school. They might need it forever, or they might just need a copy of it themselves, really. It depends.
Yeah, also, if you're like, let me think about this. If you're 14 and you've just started logging hours and you want to get it done, make sure you've got a signature, because it needs to look professional. You have to sign
definitely.
Make sure you've got a signature and that you stick to that, and that's going to be the one that you're going to use for pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And because when you send off your logbook for the application for the license, you'll need to have the signature, and then you'll need to match up.
Definitely, and it's good to have the CAA have the same signature.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, and that's practically it. So once again, we'd like to say thank you from it's just me and Ben today, and we'd hope to see you again soon. You can add our Facebook here, our Twitter here, Instagram, and you're probably viewing this on YouTube, but if not, and then check out our YouTube channel if you feel necessary here. Even though Cameron isn't here, we're still going to be giving you the link to his Instagram there. You can find me at Connor Flyers, Ben at Ben_Tweed_, and Cameron at Cameron_Aviation. Once again, thank you from me.
Thanks for me. And just on one note, if you are wondering where Cameron is, he is away recording another podcast, which will be released very soon on VFR procedures up at Glasgow. If you'd like to have a episode from me and Connor separately about VFR procedures at Barton, and then from me at Coventry, do comment below and contact us on our social media. So from me, thanks for watching.
Once again, thanks from us all here. I'm sure Cameron would like to say thank you. Keep up the support. You're doing a great job, guys. See you again soon. Goodbye.